everybody, Chelsea here with Let's Talk. Today, let's break down noun clauses that start with WH words or if or whether. So a noun clause is a kind of subordinate clause. That means it can't exist on its own. It has to be used with a main clause. And it's used to replace a noun or a noun phrase. So I could say, I know the waterfall. Got a regular noun here, waterfall, but I can also replace waterfall with a noun clause. I know where the waterfall is. This, in purple, is our noun clause. It's being used to replace this regular noun, gives us a little bit more information. Here, it's the object of this sentence. Know is the verb, and our noun clause here is the object. Doesn't have to be the object, though. It could be the subject of a sentence. How much the cruise cost shocked me. So shocked is our verb. Our noun clause here is the subject. It could also be the object of a preposition. I was shocked by how much the cruise cost. It could also come after an adjective. I'm curious whether they'll come. Finally, it can also be used after a to-be verb. The problem is when we need to book. So all these things in purple are all noun clauses. Sometimes, though, they can look a lot like relative clauses. So how do we know it's not a relative clause? Well, most of our noun clauses can be replaced by a pronoun. So I could say, I know it. It shocked me. I was shocked by it. The problem is it. This doesn't work with the adjective ones, but for all the rest, the noun clauses can be replaced with just a pronoun. With a relative clause, that's not the case. So just for an example of a relative clause, let's find the cliff where we went last time. So here, this is our relative clause. It also starts with where, so it looks kind of like this noun clause. But this relative clause, it comes after this noun, cliff, and it's describing the noun. Our noun clauses are replacing nouns. So they might look similar, but they're used in really different ways. So our noun clauses can start with question words, who, what, when, where, why. They can start with if or whether. They can start with that, but we'll talk about that later. Today, I want to focus on if or whether and our question words. So think of a noun clause like it comes from a question. So if we're starting with a yes/no question, like, do you like caves? Then we'll use if or whether to start our noun clause. So in a statement, I want to know. If you like caves. So it isn't a question, it's a statement that starts with if or whether. And they're both used, it's just fine. I could say, I want to know whether you like caves. That's fine as well. If our question is an info question, if it starts with who, what, when, where, why, how, like who should I contact? Then our noun clause will start with that question word. So, who should I contact? I'm not sure who I should contact. So, not a question, not who should I contact, but who I should contact. This is our noun clause. We can also use a noun clause starting with one of our question words plus ever. So, whoever, wherever, however. Any of our question words plus the word ever, and that means we don't know exactly or it doesn't matter exactly. But for example, whoever told you that is wrong. So whoever means I don't know who, doesn't matter exactly who, but that person is wrong. Whoever told you that is wrong. So this can be kind of tricky because they kind of look like questions, especially our the ones that start with who, what, when, where, why, but they aren't in question word order. So going back to that initial one, do you like caves? This is in present simple tense, so we had to add that auxiliary verb to make the question. Auxiliary verb, subject, main verb, object, or other. But when we make a noun clause, it's a statement, not a question. So when I make my noun clause, what did I say? I want to know. We're going to start it with if or whether. Let's go whether this time. Then subject, verb, object, like a regular statement. You like caves. Or with the one with our question word, which was who should I contact? I'm not sure who I should contact. This is confusing. It starts with a question word, who, but it doesn't follow question word order. It's our question word and then a statement. Who I should contact, subject, verbs. Now this is especially tricky when we're dealing with present simple and past simple, because with present simple, we added that auxiliary verb for the question. Same with past simple. If my question is, when did you get a refund? I could make this into my noun clause. We're curious. When you got a refund. So our helping verb that we had to add, that auxiliary verb, we're not using in our noun clause. Not we're curious, when did you get, but when you got. So just our main verb there in the noun clause. All right, so because this can be kind of tricky, let me write it out for you one more time. We've got if or whether, subject, verb, object or other. We've got question word, plus subject plus verb plus object. And we've got whoever, wherever, however, whyever with subject, verb, and object or other. So there is a song that a teacher taught me a long time ago that I sing to my students to help them remember the word order for noun clauses. So it goes to the tune of a song called Bingo. It's a popular American kids song about a dog on a farm. So maybe you know the tune already. I'll write the words out on the board first. There was a noun that had a clause. And noun clause was its name-o. So in the original, it's there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. So forget that. We're doing grammar version, okay? So please enjoy. There was a noun that had a clause, and noun clause was its name-o. If or whether SVO, if or whether SVO, if or whether SVO, and noun clause was its name-o. There was a noun that had a clause, and noun clause was its name-o. Question word SVO, question word SVO, question word SVO, and noun clause was its name-o. There was a noun that had a clause, and noun clause was its name-o. Whoever SVO, wherever SVO, however SVO, and noun clause was its name-o. All right, now that I am done embarrassing myself, in the comments, tell me something that you know. This is Chelsea reminding you, it's never nerdy being wordy. Let's talk again soon.